Thanks for your company. Look forward to seeing you next time on The Chase Australia.
Tonight, bashed and left to die, a man fights for life after a sickening attack in a suburban street. Also, 6 days, 0 cases. SA health authorities prepare to expand testing. Confusion as 2.4 million Aussies download the COVID Safe app. Shelves stocked, supermarkets relax restrictions as shopping gets back to normal. Rug up, Adelaide set for the coldest April day in more than a decade. What's to come? And Anzac surprise, a veteran's lost medals found 24 years later.
Live from Adelaide, 7 News with Jane Doyle.
Good evening. First tonight to a developing story, and police have just revealed the arrest of a man and a woman over a sinister discovery in the CBD. Almost $1 million in cash has been found in a hotel room, along with a stash of drugs including methamphetamine, cocaine, fantasy and steroids. A 35-year-old Torrensville man and a 31-year-old woman are in custody. The pair faced court this afternoon and were refused bail. Witnesses have told of the sickening moment they saw a man knocked unconscious with a golf club in an Elizabeth South street. The victim is tonight fighting for life as detectives work to uncover a motive for the brazen attack.
A man clings to life on a footpath as witnesses tell police of the horror that unfolded before their eyes.
The guy swung the golf club and hit him straight in the head and he fell straight to the ground.
I heard the thud and I seen him go down.
The 49-year-old was attacked in Underdown Road just after midday. Neighbours heard the victim's screams and rushed to help.
Oh, I know he just hit the floor and the other ones took off.
It's just scary.
The victim was rushed to the Royal Adelaide Hospital in a critical condition. Police scoured the scene for evidence, seizing a sledgehammer. It didn't take long for police to find the alleged attacker. He lives just a few doors down from here. He was home when police came knocking. The 46-year-old's now in custody, charged with causing serious harm. A motive for the attack is unknown. Police are investigating whether the pair are linked in any way.
It is scary, it's not a nice feeling, but especially when there's so many kids on this street.
It used to be a nice quiet street and it's not the same now.
Lauren Rose, 7 News.
Health authorities are again preparing to expand COVID-19 testing after our 6th consecutive day without a new case. Mark Mooney joins us, and Mark, they'll soon start swabbing those without symptoms.
Yeah, they will, Jane, but they're keen to roll out this next phase carefully and systematically, targeting those in high-risk jobs, starting with healthcare workers. It'll be a voluntary process which will gradually be expanded to other occupations like aged care. While the 2-week blitz officially ends tomorrow night, with winter coming, SA Health says anyone who develops symptoms should get tested. We're also being urged to download the new COVID-19 tracing app. 2.4 million Australians already have, but there are concerns about how well it works, with iPhones in particular. Experts say to ensure it functions even when your device is locked, don't swipe it off. Check Bluetooth is turned on in your settings, and having too many other apps open can be a drag on performance. As for Android phones, COVID Safe needs location access, but users are assured that's not to track them. And Jane, it's been revealed 96% of our COVID-19 patients have now recovered, meaning there are just 14 active cases.
Thanks, Mark. And in more good news, the Barossa is no longer considered a coronavirus hotspot. It was an area of real concern, with dozens of infections linked to 2 tour groups. But now all travel restrictions have been lifted.
We can treat the Barossa the same as any other community in South Australia.
Schools in the Barossa will reopen tomorrow. Australia's Treasury boss has delivered a grim assessment of the economic impact of COVID-19, saying people have lost their jobs faster than in the Great Depression. The government's also conceded many businesses are gone for good.
The COVID crisis is destroying jobs faster than the Great Depression.
We have never seen an economic shock of this speed, magnitude and shape.
And the Treasury Secretary warns for many the damage will never be undone.
Some jobs and businesses will have been lost permanently.
The brutal price of a once-in-a-century economic crisis.
We've said all along it's not going to be possible to save every single business and every single job.
Dr Kennedy predicting the official rate of unemployment will hit 10% in the June quarter and pushing back at suggestions the government's multi-billion-dollar bailouts have been too slow.
Why is it taking so long to get money out the door when we're seeing people in such difficult financial circumstances?
These monies are running out remarkably quickly.
About $10 billion gone out already, $4 billion in $750 stimulus payments, $4 billion in business cash flow assistance and $2 billion in additional job seeker payments, with the $130 billion JobKeeper allowance flowing from Friday. The single biggest amount so far, $6.3 billion withdrawn in emergency access to superannuation as people fund their own rescue packages. Treasurer Josh Frydenberg announcing he'll deliver an economic update to Parliament on May 12, what was to be Budget Day, and a more comprehensive financial outlook in June, outlining the recovery plan.
We never stopped working on the response from the day we started.
And plenty of work still ahead. Mark Riley, 7 News.
Target could be the next high-profile victim of the corona crisis, with Sign's parent company Wesfarmers could close stores as sales plunge. But Network Finance editor Gemma Acton says it's not all bad news for the retail group.
No, Jane, but the ways in which the pandemic has changed our habits are clearly reflected in its latest update. Its Bunnings chain of hardware stores have seen sales soar as many more of us undertake home improvement projects and tend to our gardens. Similarly, as the work from home trend took off, Officeworks delivered higher sales in the first 4 months of this year than in the last half of 2019. It's been a different story, though, over at Wesfarmers department stores. While Kmart's online sales are up, its stores have suffered from the 80 to 90% drop-off in visitors to shopping centres. Meanwhile, the real problem child continues to be Target.
Department store businesses such as Target really need to keep evolving their business model in order to be relevant in this competitive world.
Wesfarmers says it will deliver an update on plans for the embattled chain by the end of June. Jane.
Thanks, Gemma. The state's intensive care units are battle-ready for COVID-19 or any other pandemic. Hundreds of nurses have been trained to deal with a worst-case scenario, which could still be headed our way.
The Health Minister was given his own tuition today. These ventilators have been in short supply around the world, but there are plenty on standby at Lyell McEwin Hospital. 221 nurses have trained here for a COVID-19 emergency. Almost 200 others are now up to speed at other public hospitals.
We're determined to make sure they're ready for any second wave. We're working very hard to avoid it, but we cannot take anything for granted.
Images of chaotic scenes in other global ICUs have had a profound effect here. Training has been conducted in full personal protective equipment under stressful simulation. These health experts know they need to protect themselves and others.
If the surge does actually occur, that the Lyell McEwin will be able to participate fully and safely.
Lyell McEwin's our backup defence with 8 fully equipped beds to take the spillover if the RAH reaches capacity.
It alleviates a fear of staff coming up here because it is such a specialised area.
Even if not used for serious coronavirus cases, there's still a flu season ahead. The minister's urging public patience with vaccines in temporary short supply.
When we've got vaccines, we've got a responsibility to use them.
These courses have also been offered through our private hospital system to boost resources even further. Mike Smithson, 7 News.
There are fears 50% of the state's trucking companies will go bust due to the coronavirus crisis. Industry leaders say profit margins are already so slim, by the time they qualify for JobKeeper payments, it'll be too late.
They're the wheels that keep the economy turning, but the trucking industry says the delivery of vital freight's in jeopardy.
Not only the essential and obvious foodstuff, but medical supplies, all sorts of materials.
Overseas freight they normally distribute simply isn't arriving. And with so many businesses here closed, local demand for trucks has dwindled.
Most of us will go broke and then the industry will be in trouble and so will the whole country.
He fears within months, half of the state's trucking companies will collapse, around 2,000 businesses, because they won't qualify for the federal government's JobKeeper scheme. It requires a 30% decline in turnover.
We go broke if our revenue to the business falls by 10 to 15%.
Wages chew up around 35%, fuel around 25%. Almost 40% is spent on maintenance and other operational costs, leaving an after-tax profit of just 3%.
By the time you realise that you're at a 30% drop in what you're doing, it's too late.
The industry says so far its calls to the federal government have fallen on deaf ears. The Treasurer's maintaining with a $130 billion scheme, he's had to draw the line somewhere. The state government too has dismissed its calls to raise the cap on payroll tax relief. Those with over $4 million worth of wages can apply to defer payment. Andrea Nicholas, 7 News.
But in yet another sign life is slowly returning to normal, supermarket rationing has been loosened today. Elspeth Hussey joins us live. Toilet paper limits have been lifted in some stores.
They have, Jane. Just a short time ago, both Coles and Woolies announced a relaxing of those super tight restrictions that have meant just 1 packet per customer. Now you can grab up to 10 packets of toilet paper at Coles and up to 4 at Woolworths. But Woolies hasn't stopped there. It's also scrapped limits entirely on pasta, frozen vegetables, tissues, baby wipes, paper towels and disposable gloves. 2 limit per shop restrictions remain for a few items though, including flour, eggs, sugar, pasta sauce, hand wash, cleaners and disinfectant. All indications are though that these items will soon be taken off the rationing list too, and it's simply because the panic buying that has stripped our shelves bare last month is finally easing.
We had to put the restriction in to make sure we could give access to as many people as we can, but we're delighted today to be able to lift those restrictions so that, things are starting to become a little bit more normal in the supermarket.
Other measures that also appear to be easing include counting and limiting the number of customers in the supermarket at any one time, and that methodical disinfecting of trolleys and baskets that we've seen. Some stores are even closing midway through the day to restock and clean, but that appears to have stopped now too. Jane.
Thanks, Elle. Australian scientists will start human trials on a potential vaccine for COVID-19 in just 6 weeks. The treatment will help the body produce antibodies to fight the virus. There's now a hunt for healthy volunteers to take part.
This is the first one to our knowledge that's using a protein-based vaccine. And it's one of the first that involves a collaboration with some of the big vaccine manufacturers in the world.
The fastest vaccine ever approved took 4 years to get the green light. If this trial is successful, Australians will have access to the medication first. After a White House walk-off, Donald Trump has resumed his daily media conferences. And with the US at odds over when life should return to normal, business owners in New York remain defiant about finding a way out of this crisis.
It's home to silk ties, Italian blazers, and now a revolt against New York's virus shutdown.
Stand tall and do what you got to do.
78-year-old Elliot Rabin defying rules that say only essential businesses should open.
Why is a liquor store essential and I'm not?
Arguing it's not just about staying in business.
I wanted to try to establish some normalcy in an abnormal situation. And I wanted people to be able to walk by and smile.
The police have already been called once. Inside there are masks, sanitizer and what he calls a comfort station. Other states are relaxing restrictions, the White House insisting a ramp up of testing will make it safe.
There's a hunger for getting our country back.
Manhattan's retail rebel knows he could face a penalty for doing this, but says it's worth it to keep being an open door in a city where so many are closed.
I'm prepared to go to jail.
A few minutes downtown, helping keep New Yorkers going is some Aussie inspiration. Anna Evkosik's Wattle Cafe is essential and despite the challenges staying open as millions of Americans are laid off.
I wanted to keep them employed and keep them with some sort of cash flow, the ability to actually
feed their families.
Along with the flat whites, they're now selling groceries, even toilet rolls, saying it's too soon to ease restrictions here.
We won't be back to normal for months.
And will need the financial help promised by Donald Trump. Asked today about a spike in calls to hotlines about disinfectants after he talked about injecting them.
I know you said they were sarcastic.
I can't imagine why. I can't imagine why, yeah.
Take any responsibility?
No,
if
I don't. No, I
die?
can't imagine. I can't imagine that.
In New York, Paul Kadak, 7 News.
British health experts are examining links between coronavirus and another new disease emerging in children. An urgent alert has been sent to doctors across the UK, but health bosses are assuring parents it is rare.
Across the UK, intensive care units have been filled with adults, but in recent weeks, more than a dozen children have ended up here too.
We have become aware in the last few days of reports of severe illness in children, which might be a Kawasaki-like disease.
Kawasaki is rare, often affecting kids under 5, causing a fever, rash, stomach pain, and in severe cases, cardiac inflammation. Doctors believe it could be a reaction to coronavirus, with cases also reported in northern Italy and Spain.
Given that we've got a new presentation of this at a time with a new disease, I think it is entirely plausible that this is caused by this virus, at least in some cases.
Health experts are investigating while the government focuses on reopening the nation. After his own experience with the virus, the usually happy-go-lucky Prime Minister is acting cautiously.
I want to get this economy moving as fast as I can, but I refuse to throw away all the effort and the sacrifice of the British people.
But people want to know what the next phase is. For the first time, the public was invited to ask questions at the government's daily media briefing. More than 15,000 were submitted. One was read out.
Is being able to hug our closest family one of the first steps out of lockdown?
From a grandmother desperate to be reunited with her grandkids, but no closer to finding out when. In London, Sarah Greenolch, 7 News.
It's the sting in the early education tale, free childcare for your kids, but at some centres there's a catch. Parents are being asked to supply meals, milk and nappies, but the federal government warns that shouldn't be happening.
Saving hundreds of dollars a week on childcare has been a welcome relief for many parents, but some providers, like Kids Club, say the federal government's support package doesn't stretch far enough.
It's like going from a budget of, endless to something that's very, very tight.
So they're asking families to help with this BYO list: meals and snacks, milk and formula, nappies, wipes and creams. Parents warned that failing to do so will result in Kids Club not being able to provide care for your child that day.
Just compromise on a few little things, and meals and nappies are such a big cost.
Savings to keep surviving. At Timber Tots in Queensland,
our service quality drops to a very bare minimum.
Some providers taking advice from this Education Department webinar.
You can ask families to provide nappies and meals, and if the viability payment doesn't cover the expense of that anymore.
The Education Minister acknowledges there have been some mixed messages for providers, but today made it clear the same level of care needed to continue, meaning centres which previously supplied meals and nappies should continue to do so.
As a result of the new system, you should not change your practice.
Jessica Ridley, 7 News.
A veteran's had the surprise of his life when a medal he lost 24 years ago was found on a beach. Tony Pincott joined the Navy at 16 and served for 32 years, but lost his Defence Force medal in 1996.
To be straight up with it, I didn't know what it was because it's encased in all barnacles and stuff from the ocean.
Ian Lynch, who found it, had to soak the medal for 3 weeks to identify its owner. Good luck to him. Well, we're being warned to brace ourselves for an early blast of winter and potentially our coldest April day in a decade. Elise Baker joins us from Elder Park. And Elise, just how chilly will it get?
Jane, the last time temperatures plummeted like this so early in the season was in 2008. A strong cold front will bring heavy showers, small hail and windy conditions from tomorrow. The Weather Bureau says around 20 to 40 millimetres of rain is expected around the city and Mount Lofty ranges, and the mercury won't climb too high either on Thursday.
It'll be a shock. It'll be really quite cool, windy conditions, while the temperature in Adelaide will only get to 15 degrees. It'll probably feel much cooler than that.
There could be some flooding on the roads too, so the advice over the next few days is to slow down and drive to the conditions. Jane.
Good advice indeed. Now let's check in with Soda on what's coming up in sport.
Well, Jane, the AFL has revealed some of its plans to reboot the season to the Players Association, and fair to say that some of the ideas have not been well received at all. Yeah, I'll tell you all about that soon. And Dave Warner has thrown his weight behind potential changes to the Big Bash, which will boost some star power playing a lot more regularly there, which should be good for everyone watching as well. All that and plenty more coming up shortly.
We'll look forward to it. Thanks, Soda. Ahead on 7 News, an arsonist who set his own business ablaze escapes a jail term. Also, hectic joyride. Teens in a stolen Mercedes chased by police. Italy, the one-time coronavirus epicentre, emerges from lockdown. And for those missing their footy, there's a new game in town, the Australian Duck League.
7 News, brought to you by Industry Superfunds.
That feels especially true, given what's going on. It is good to know that our super will help us and our economy bounce back. And if you're with one of these, your super is invested in things that create jobs and keep Aussie businesses strong, delivering good long-term returns that benefit all of us. After all, we're all in this together.
You slept with my brother, you covered it up for 20 odd years, and my daughter might be his.
What if he's not my dad?
I'll always be your dad and you'll always be my daughter.
Who is that anyway?
I told you to stay away.
Home and Away, this week at 7 on 7.
Why don't you come? Why don't you come? Pleasure's all mine, never getting old. If you're looking for me, I'll be dancing in my own way.
Coronavirus is changing the way we live, work and communicate. Changes can be hard, so it's vital to take care of ourselves and others. Prioritising your mental health is important. To help, there are some things you can do, like eating well, keeping active, talking with family, friends and neighbours via phone or video calls, and making a new daily routine. Together, we can help stop the spread and stay healthy. Visit australia.gov.au to learn more. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra. At UE, we're all about how you use or don't use your car. But right now, most people who usually drive to work aren't. Most people who work from home are driving even less, and most retirees and commuters are homebound. If you are using your car less, we'd like to give you temporary relief on your car insurance premiums. UE clients, go to our website, follow the prompts and your saving will be applied. Shopping around for car insurance? The same relief applies to you. UE, you insured.
I just went and got some milk.
Hey, wait a sec. Let's try new white choc flavour.
Just like a white choc milkshake, only crunchy.
Shopping for yourself or someone you love? We're pleased to offer our click and collect service at 22 Myer stores across Australia. Booths outside our stores are open 10 to 5 daily. Go online to find your nearest location.
My store.
There's no reason to leave home this winter. Now's the time to make your home comfortable and stay in with the family. Gasworks have everything to make your home comfortable, with heating and hot water to suit any home or budget. Gasworks, the home of comfort.
Tasty, affordable and delicious. What's for dinner in the next break with Coles?
A cafe owner who torched his own business in a botched insurance job has been spared jail. The 65-year-old, who has a brain injury, will serve his term in home detention.
Carl Gibbons cut a lonely figure as he walked from court. His doctor was his only supporter.
It was certainly a very good outcome in the current climate with COVID, particularly an old gentleman who's had a lot of health issues. So I think a very good decision has been made.
In March 2017, he was dramatically plucked to safety from the roof of his Semaphore cafe as it went up in flames. He told police he was doing paperwork upstairs when he realised the staircase was on fire. But they smelled a rat. They noticed the hairs on his arms were singed, and he was captured on CCTV outside the premises moments before the blaze. It turned out his 6-week-old business was in trouble, and he owed a substantial amount of money to his landlord and was struggling to pay his staff. 3 days after the fire, Gibbons lodged an $80,000 insurance claim. The judge said this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment offence, and crimes like arson put the lives of firefighters and the community at risk. The 65-year-old has a significant brain injury. The maximum penalty for arson is life. Gibbons was sentenced to 3 years jail with a non-parole period of 18 months to be served on home detention. Deanna Williams, 7 News.
2 teenaged boys in a stolen Mercedes led police on a wild chase this morning. Their joyride came to a crashing end at Mansfield Park. The suspects ran from the scene, but one was arrested nearby in a backyard shed thanks to good work from the dog squad. The luxury car had been stolen from the Kensington Park home of a real estate agent.
It's disappointing to hear that people of that age are doing home invasions in an area like this.
The search for the second suspect continues. Italy, once the epicentre of the coronavirus pandemic, will begin lifting its lockdown from next week. The changes will be cautious and gradual, according to the Prime Minister, with tests underway on new transport procedures and face masks being widely distributed. Italy's lockdown has been the longest and one of the strictest in Europe, following the country's first reported case in February. Donald Trump has added to the intrigue surrounding Kim Jong-un after he was asked about the North Korean leader's health.
Very good idea, but I can't talk about it now. I hope he's fine. I do know how he's doing, relatively speaking. We will see. You'll probably be hearing in the not-too-distant future.
Kim hasn't been seen for more than 2 weeks following reports he'd undergone heart surgery. The Pentagon has released a series of videos featuring what it describes as unidentified aerial phenomena. Some say they're merely drones, but others believe we're looking at alien UFOs encountered by US Navy pilots. The Pentagon says it released the vision to clear up public misconceptions as to whether it was real after it began circulating on social media. Well, as we all know, current restrictions have had a profound effect on all sorts of events, hitting charities hard with countless fundraisers cancelled. But Amelia, one popular appeal's found a way to keep rolling on.
Jane, if you're looking for your own act of kindness to do, well, this one's easy. Once it was a tea party held by school groups, in offices and in retirement villages. The Cancer Council's biggest morning tea, like many things, is now thriving online.
They say a cup of tea fixes everything, and while it might not fix our physical distance, any excuse to share one's bound to bring us closer.
Morning everybody, good to see you all, and welcome to our first virtual biggest morning tea.
The popular Cancer Council fundraiser's looking a little different. In 2020, we're encouraged to register and hold a morning tea with our friends and family online in the month of May.
Cheers!
In Ceduna, the Thevenard pub's doing a free frontline worker dinner.
Just going to do a few meals tonight for a few of our amazing people that look after us all the time, the police, the nurses and the ambos.
And if you're missing your AFL fix, try the ADL. That's the Australian Duck League.
We've lost Plucker Duck. Plucker Duck is stuck. It's gone.
There are some similarities with teams like Port Adelaide, St Kilda and Collingwings.
So GWD wins round 1 of the ADL.
And if you've seen something that's made you laugh during these times, or perhaps an act of kindness that you think we should share, let us know. Jane, I'm sure we'll see highlights of the ADL in sport soon.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that, to the ADL Grand Final too. Thanks, Amelia. Still to come on 7 News, close call. A car slams into a family's home moments from disaster. Also, Qantas workers launch action in a battle over sick leave. Later, our consumer report on the return of weekly supermarket specials and a multi-million-dollar lifeline to keep zoo and theme park animals fed.
It is our family home. It's our forever home. You know, we don't have the means to renovate it and make it a home for us, so I'm just extremely grateful.
Guys, what we have here is a bit of a family-sized challenge for you.
It's massive. It's never-ending rooms.
It just keeps on going and going and going.
Inside this family home is a transformation you have to see to believe.
You okay?
Just wait till you see what they're seeing. House Rules, tonight 7:30 on 7.
Hello everyone, Shannon from Smith & Daughters here again, and tonight I'll be showing you one of my all-time favourite recipes to make. It's Mapo Tofu, a recipe that's in my upcoming book to be released at the end of this year, so I'm letting you all in on a little secret. Let's start off with our first round of ingredients. We'll start with tofu. My secret ingredient is the Alternative Meat Co.'s plant-based mince. But if you can't find this, any other veggie mince or regular meat mince will do. Now this is black fungus. It comes in a dried form. Once you soak it, you end up with this incredible stuff. Spring onions, ginger, garlic and toasted Szechuan peppercorns that I've ground up. So cut your tofu into roughly 2 by 2 centimetre squares and have it ready in the bowl, along with your ginger, spring onions and your garlic mixture. Okay, our wok is smoking hot. To this, we are going to add a generous amount of vegetable oil and plant-based mince. To that, we are going to add our ginger, spring onion and garlic mixture. Give a good toss through. We're going to throw in our black fungus. Give it another 30 seconds. And then it's time to add our sauces. Okay, first off, fermented chili bean paste. Straight in. Our black beans. Straight in. Jasmine wine. And our soy sauce. And once all your sauces are combined, add roughly 600 mils of stock and bring this bad boy up to the boil. Now, once your mixture has come to the boil, we are going to add our drained tofu straight in. Let's turn down the heat to a medium-low simmer and let that sit and cook for about 10 minutes. So to finish off our dish, I have added a splash of cornstarch mixed with cold water, our Szechuan peppercorns, our Szechuan chili oil and those green spring onion tops that were reserved from earlier. And there you have it, guys, my vegan Mapo Tofu, ready in under half an hour. Now, I love to serve this with some steamed rice and top it with fresh coriander. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, and don't forget, stay safe, stay healthy. See you next time, guys. Bye.
A northern suburbs family's been forced to move after an out-of-control car smashed into the front of their Paralowie home. A young mother has told 7 News she was just metres from being run over.
Still rattled, Salim Poe and his partner inspect the damage to their family home.
We are lucky, no one get hurt anything from like the car crash.
They were in the kitchen preparing dinner with their 4 young children when a young driver lost control and smashed into the Belmar Street house.
Oh my gosh!
The Mazda SUV was captured on security cameras just seconds before the dramatic crash. The vehicle then careered onto the footpath, knocking over several bins before ploughing through the fence and into the bedroom.
Very loud, like it's very bomb, yeah. Very, very loud, yeah.
The car eventually came to a stop after hitting the neighbour's lounge room wall. Sokmalita Kim says she often puts her 2-year-old son to bed at that time of night.
I nearly died when I saw it. Lucky she didn't get hit, isn't it? Lucky the kid didn't get run over.
The young female driver walked away from the wreck unscathed. Witnesses say she was dazed and confused.
To do that amount of damage in that short a space, you've got to be a little bit away with the fairies.
Damage to the home is so severe the young family are now unable to stay here. They say they'll move in with relatives until they find somewhere else to live. Police are still investigating the crash. Tim Yateman, 7 News.
Qantas workers have taken the airline to court in a battle over sick leave. Qantas told staff they can't use their sick and carers leave entitlements during the COVID-19 stand-down. A cancer patient who's worked for the airline for 30 years is among those fighting the move.
They are prioritising cost over people who are literally fighting for their lives, and that is one of the most heartless management moves we've seen in a long time in this country.
A decision is expected from the federal court in coming weeks. Well, they may be devoid of tourists, but the needs of animals at zoos and theme parks haven't changed. Now, a multi-million-dollar deal will ensure the stars of the shows don't go hungry. Each dolphin at SeaWorld costs $1,000 a week to feed. A $94 million federal funding lifeline could be extended until July the 1st. Still to come on 7 News, the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for long-lasting benefits from the pandemic. Just desserts, a would-be burglar takes a tumble on camera. And how a star AFL footballer could crash your child's birthday party. For your official local source of COVID-19 information and the range of support services available, go to sa.gov.au.
Are you ready for takeoff? Yes, baby! When you're smiling, you can keep on laughing.
We're celebrating the extraordinary. Brand new Britain's Got Talent, Wednesday 7:30 on 7.
If you're in business in Australia, right now you're facing one of your toughest challenges. Business Australia can help you manage your responsibilities to your employees and assist with strategies to maintain and sustain your business. For free advice and support, visit businessaustralia.com.
Need indoor or outdoor blinds? This could affect you.
Prices have plunged.
Burns for Blinds have dropped prices on all blinds.
Burns have burned the price book. Get the hottest price you've ever seen.
All indoor blinds, outdoor blinds, cafe blinds, roller shutters, security doors.
You tell Burns what you want to pay. You name your price. All offers will be considered. Get a free quote, then make an offer. And you get free installation.
Yeah, free installation.
Better phone Burns for Blinds now.
At Arana, we see the opportunity of living with disability to learn life skills and live as independently as possible. Contact Arana to discuss the living options available for people with disability. Visit aranaonline.com.au.
It's horrible.
Shut up and take my money.
This is Aaron. Make some assumptions about where he works. By making assumptions, you don't see the individual. Aaron is a business broker. He works from home brokering deals all over Australia. Because Aaron is mostly at home day and night, he could pay less on his home and contents insurance. At UE, we don't make assumptions, we listen. It's home and contents insurance for individuals like Aaron. UE. You insured.
Ready for any challenge. Battery power, made by Still. Only from your local Still dealer.
Our streets are not empty. They're full of determination to stop the spread of COVID-19. To keep us connected and informed, the state government has created a reliable source of information at sa.gov.au, keeping SA safe and strong.
As authorities plot our slow exodus from COVID restrictions, health professionals say we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to simplify our lives. They say we should take the chance to reflect on what's important.
The global pandemic of 2020, heartbreaking with lives and jobs lost, but heartwarming too with kindness like we've never seen before. And for many, with lockdowns and restrictions, a rare chance to slow down.
Hello. It's been amazing to, when they ask a question, to be able to sit down, answer it,
do what they ask or play a game with them instead of being like, I don't have time.
So this has been a huge bonus for people to stop and reflect.
The Friss and Lee family has embraced precious time together.
I've learned how to play chess, and I also learned we've done like painting and watercolour, and Mum showed us how to do that. Hitting golf balls and playing Barbies and all that stuff. Daddy has been playing golf a lot, and Mummy has been helping us a lot with a lot of things.
But life as we knew it before will return soon.
There will be a social pressure to go back to what we knew before. We need to join in with the same groups and teams and meetings.
So how do we take the good bits with us when it's all over? Health professionals say while we went into lockdown quickly, we're likely to come out of it slowly, giving us time to adapt and time to decide what we want to get back into and what we don't. A family conversation holds the key.
This is an opportunity out of this crisis to really design and craft our lives in a way that perhaps we hadn't thought of previously. We don't have to crowd our life with so many things that we forget to be.
Jessica Adamson, 7 News.
A would-be thief has taken a tumble some would say he deserved. After he rang the doorbell of a Melbourne home, the nervous resident watched him on security camera. Then the intruder climbed onto a balcony. Moments later, he lost his footing with dramatic results. He got up quickly, but with witnesses nearby, took off empty-handed. Well, you may have noticed in recent weeks, usual supermarket specials have disappeared. Now, with things slowly returning to normal, there's growing competition for consumer dollars. From tomorrow, the major supermarket chains are launching new specials. The details are ahead in 7 News. While most children are back at school, many are still cooped up on the weekend due to the restrictions. It means hosting a birthday party is out, but that doesn't mean they can't still celebrate.
The younger you are, the more you look forward to a birthday party, so 6-year-old Jalen was less than impressed at having to miss out because of COVID-19 restrictions.
I felt really sad that I couldn't have any of my friends.
That was until his mum signed him up for an AFL Max virtual party.
We do some hands-on games, we do some scavenger hunts around the house, we have interactive quizzes that can be tailored to each customer as well.
And if you're lucky, your favourite footy star might pop past.
I'm so glad you guys are going to celebrate your birthday with your friends.
We sort of come upon this online and we were like, yes, let's go for it. A way we can, still have a party and celebrate and get all the kids involved.
The classic Plaster Funhouse has also adapted. It's now letting you take the fun home with models and paint in ready-made kits.
Obviously we can't have people coming in to be entertained and do their painting. We've had to turn ourselves into a takeaway shop.
And for an added bit of magic, magician Mixer the Trickster is sending out free personalised messages to anybody missing out on their special day.
I guess with live entertainment out of the question, as a performer, you've really got to reinvent yourself, and that's when I came up with the idea of sending magic birthday videos. Twinkle your fingers, 1, 2, 3.
Party organisers say with restrictions likely to be in place for some time still, virtual parties are a great way to keep kids active and connected.
They're just missing their friends, so the fact that they can get on and just quickly catch up and say, oh, Johnny, I haven't seen you in a while, is really, really amazing.
Tim Hatfield, 7 News.
And if I twinkle my fingers, here's soda, and the AFL's plan to get
It's not even
back.
my birthday, and I've got a little present.
You get a bit of twinkling. AFL's players are, or the AFL's got a plan to get the players back to playing footy, but not all the players are happy about it.
No, I think, Jane, it could mean that certainly families and that sort of thing are going to be split up a little bit, so they're not really happy. Right back at you too, by the way. Also coming up, Olympic hero Kyle Chalmers back in the pool as SA becomes the envy of swimmers around the nation. Dave Warner has thrown his support behind a push to change the format of the Big Bash. And a former Adelaide Rugby League player goes from apprentice plumber to the bright lights of the NFL.
Harry and Meghan's royal bombshell.
Unthinkable.
The inside story.
So many twists and turns.
A royal rebellion. Premieres Wednesday on 7.
Piping Strike here. At Bank SA, we're getting Mum and Dad ready for internet banking. Help your folks register at banksa.com.au. They can do their money stuff without leaving home. South Australia, get your loved ones ready for internet banking. Love you, Mum.
During these unprecedented times, Foodland is working mighty hard to ensure great food still lives here. We're working closely with our suppliers to keep shelves stocked so you can get the things you need when you need them. We're working hard to maintain great customer service and safety in our stores. And thank you for your patience during this time.
The mighty South Aussies, yeah.
If dry or flaky skin is causing you frustration and embarrassment, try E45 cream. It soothes and relieves by creating an effective barrier to protect against skin dryness. Feel comfortable in your skin. Switch to E45.
A lot of us are spending more time at home.
Ow.
Using a lot more electricity and internet. Unfortunately, iSelect can't help with your naked partner walking past your big presentation. But we could help shrink those household bills. Now's the time to compare, select and save with iSelect on 13 19 20.
All these cars used to go to their dealers for logbook servicing and repairs before they switched and saved. So no matter what car you drive, switch and save yourself. Call 1300 Automasters. For great service, guaranteed.
The Australian Government is supporting Australians throughout the coronavirus crisis. We're providing comprehensive financial assistance for individuals, households and businesses, like the $130 billion JobKeeper payment to keep businesses in business and Australians in jobs, as well as the doubling of income support to help individuals and households. To find out more, visit australia.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Piping Strike here. At Bank SA, we're getting Mum and Dad ready for internet banking. Help your folks register at banksa.com.au. They can do their money stuff without leaving home. South Australia, get your loved ones ready for internet banking. Love you, Mum.
It is our family home. It's our forever home.
Inside this family home is a transformation you have to see to believe.
You okay?
Just wait till you see what they're seeing. House Rules, tonight 7:30 on 7.
Hello again. Well, new details of the AFL's radical ideas to reboot the 2020 season have been revealed. The league is contemplating a long-term lockdown to complete the remaining games, and players aren't impressed.
In a hookup with the Players Association late this afternoon, the league's plans were revealed. They've left many seeing red. If ticked off by the AFLPA, the dramatic proposal would have teams quarantine in a hub for up to 5 months. The season would be broken down into 2 phases. First up, an 8-week block, the first 3 of it training, then playing 7 games in the remaining 5 weeks. Teams will then get a week rest before starting a second 3-month block, with the final 4 weeks of that dedicated to finals. It'll now go into negotiation, but it's understood families wouldn't be allowed, and that's left players furious. And Eagles midfielder Luke Shuey has opened up about the controversial free kick and goal in the 2017 extra time elimination final win over the Power.
I was thinking, I can't believe I've gotten away with ducking again. I remember looking up and the runner came out and he said to me, mate, there's 5 seconds to go. You kick this, we win. I thought, no, mate.
He's kicked the goal. The Eagles have won.
The Eagles lost to the Giants the following week. Theo Doropoulos, 7 News.
Well, cricket superstar Dave Warner has embraced the push to revamp the Big Bash competition. In an exclusive interview with 7 News, Warner says he's excited about the changes being considered by Cricket Australia.
One of the biggest names in the game says the time is right for a Big Bash overhaul, and it could just open the door for David Warner to return to the BBL after a 7-year absence.
Now, this year, if it so happens to be falling in the window where we don't have as much cricket, there's always a possibility to return.
Among the changes being considered, stars like Warner, Steve Smith and other national players would be available to play in the Big Bash beyond Test duties in early January. And we could have 4 innings matches in the 20-over-a-side format. Warner and the game's elite are now awaiting a potential pay cut as Cricket Australia deals with a cash flow crisis.
You've probably heard the players say before, we're partners in the game and, we ride the highs and the lows of it.
Lockdown for the star batsman has included dancing with the family on social media and even a wardrobe swap with wife and champion Ironwoman Qantas.
I think there's some funny stuff that has come out. People are saying it's probably a bit too far.
Jim Wilson, 7 News.
Rightio. Now, the NRL will be back up and running in 4 weeks with the 20-round season wrapping up with an October grand final. Meanwhile, Panthers star Nathan Cleary has been hit with a $10,000 fine for breaching social distancing laws after he was photographed at home on Anzac Day with a group of friends. Latrell Mitchell from the Rabbitohs and the Storm's Josh Addo-Carr copped suspended 1-game bans for a camping trip, along with $50,000 fines. 60% of the fines are suspended for the rest of the season. And a former Adelaide Rugby League player is the latest Aussie to get a shot at the NFL after signing to the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad. Matt Leo grew up in Semaphore and worked as a plumber before jetting off to the United States as part of the NFL International Player Program. From there, the 200-centimetre defensive end played the past 2 seasons at Iowa State. Impressing with his speed and strength, the 27-year-old went down the same path as rugby league star Valentine Holmes, who was signed to the New York Jets. And Nick Kyrgios won't be forgetting his 25th birthday in a hurry. Fellow tennis star Stefanos Tsitsipas posted his phone number on social media with a call me message, and his fans obliged.
Please stop calling me. I can't even play music. Please stop calling my cell phone. Appreciate it.
It wasn't long before Kyrgios disconnected his phone. Well, SA's Kyle Chalmers is back in the pool with a renewed focus towards Tokyo 2021. The Olympic gold medalist and his squad are the first swimmers in Australia allowed to resume training.
Temperature checks, hand sanitizer and following strict social distancing rules are precautions that these elite swimmers are more than happy to stick to.
Bish, our coach, has been right on the front foot of opening the pool up as well, so we're very lucky that we've got such a good team that have been pushing to have the pool open since the day it closed, and for it to finally be open, it's a massive sense of relief, and I feel so grateful to be in such a great state that's allowed for us to do it.
21-year-old Chalmers was in the best shape of his life when the Olympics were postponed. He then spent a couple of weeks roughing it on a property near Streaky Bay to reset mentally for Tokyo 2021.
The unknown was quite challenging. Once we got a date, it was like, okay, we've still got a date, we can refocus and get moving forward.
Yeah, I don't see it as being wasted at all. I think I've got such a good opportunity now to be in even better shape, or there's a few areas I really want to improve on over the next 12 months, which I wouldn't have had if I had only had 3 months to go until Tokyo.
And to ensure his preparation isn't disrupted again, the 100-metre freestyle champion is having a custom-designed shipping container pool installed in his backyard.
It's going to just be a massive relief having that in my yard that I can swim in when I need to swim in. So it's just a above ground shipping container with a huge jet on at the front of it, so I just swim against the jet. So I'll definitely get a fair bit of use out of it.
Nikki Barnett, 7 News.
That looks fantastic,
a jet
doesn't it?
pool?
Yeah.
In a shipping container?
I want one of those for Christmas.
Of course you do.
I want to put that on the list. How
you
would
love
that
your
be?
gadgets.
It'd be fantastic. And you swim against the jet.
Yeah, I've heard of them, but I've never seen one in a swimming container, in a shipping container before.
Looks good. Geez, a big boy, Kyle.
He is a big man indeed, and let's hope he gets even faster by next year. Thanks, Soda. To your money now, and it was a lacklustre day on the share market. The All Ords was down 7 points. It was a mixed day for the major banks. Santos finished the day lower, but not much change for Coles. And the Aussie dollar's worth 64 US cents, 52 pence and $1.07 New Zealand. Stay with us after the break. It's been a while since we've seen them. Supermarket specials are returning.
And that wintry blast is on the way. I'll be back with a look at a chilly 7-day forecast after the break.
Please don't do this.
Have some faith.
Oh my God.
3, 2.
All new Aussie first dates. Tonight on 7.
Hi, Grandpa.
Are you ready?
Yes.
In the green rolling hills.
It's more important than ever to stay close. And you can with an extra 25 gigs of mobile data. Register via My Telstra app by 30th of June.
I'm off to see a man about a dog.
Ooh, I've got to make a little deposit.
Time to do some paperwork.
Hey love, I'm just off to download some software.
It doesn't matter how you say it, it just matters that you do it regularly. Take Metamucil daily, a natural way to stay regular and support a healthy gut. Get Metamucil from Chemist Warehouse for the best price
and go take care of business.
At HCF, Australia's largest not-for-profit health fund, we know the importance of care when it counts. That's why eligible members can access our holistic mental wellbeing program with the flexibility to choose what works for you. HCF, that's uncommon care.
What do you think?
You need some help. Hey fellas, come here for a minute. You need to create something really special. Create some theatre. Cook something Sarah loves.
Gas isn't here.
Yes, it is. It's out the front now. Hi, Gareth.
For LPG delivery you can track, go to origin.com.au/localgas. Call 133LPG or go online now for an instant quote and a great price.
Right now, knowing where you stand financially is more important than ever.
But with so many different benefits, rebates and concessions, it can be confusing.
That's why there's Benefits Finder in your CommBank app. In seconds, we can help you find the benefits you may be eligible for.
It's just one of the ways we're doing more things for more people. Together.
It's the perfect time to get cosy with winter home essentials from Maya. With 40% off selected quilts, pillows, protectors and blankets. And 40% off when you buy 2 or more items of loose cookware.
Maya, my store.
A great pioneer of modern nursing once said, "The greatest heroes are those who do their duty in the daily grind of domestic affairs whilst the world whirls." In 2020, the year of the nurse and midwife, 200 years after Florence Nightingale's birth, we say thank you to the nurses, midwives and personal care workers who, in the face of both tragedy and joy, share their care and skills every day of every year. You are our real heroes.
Kate switched and saved $90 on her Kia service, and Mark switched and saved $120 on his Ford service. So switch and save yourself. Call 1300 Automasters. For great service, guaranteed.
You slept with my brother. You covered it up for 20 odd years. And my daughter might be his. You'll always be my daughter, no matter what.
What if he's not my dad?
Home and Away, weeknights at 7.
More on that breaking news.
Breaking now.
We begin with breaking news.
This is where the news breaks every morning. This is where you're totally informed throughout the day. This is the undisputed news leader at 6 o'clock every night. This is where you're kept up to date with every breaking fact.
This is the warning from health officials.
On air and online. Sunrise, 7 News at 6, the latest. This is the news you can count on. 7 News.
Supermarkets have cut popular specials from shelves in recent weeks, but tomorrow, fierce price competition will return, with the major chains launching new sales.
Grocery shopping in the era of COVID-19 has not just been about distancing. Families have had to deal with specials disappearing.
We did have to reduce the number because we simply didn't have stock of some of the items.
Aldi has slashed items from its centre specials aisle. COVID-19 has even forced a meltdown of a winter favourite.
Unfortunately for many customers, we've actually had to cancel the snow sale for 2020, but we'll be back bigger and better next year.
But from tomorrow, price wars on everyday essentials are back in earnest.
We are absolutely bringing back our specials. This week we have 3,000 across the country and a lot of half-price offers.
Woolworths is discounting health and beauty, pet products and fruit and veg. Signalling a return to full competition and low prices by supermarkets, Aldi has today published full-page ads in major newspapers across the country promising that low prices are here to stay. Grocery analyst Frugal says across 7,000 items, Woolworths has been 5 to 7% cheaper than Coles this year. And if you need further proof supermarket stocks are finally returning to normal, Coles and Woolworths are lifting purchase limits on toilet paper and paper towels. Woolworths also lifting limits on rice and hand sanitizer. Steve Titmus, 7 News.
Time for the weather now. And Amelia, how's that change tracking? It's bringing lots of wet stuff with it, I believe.
It is, Jane. It's moving through our far west at the moment and is set to clear through the city overnight. It's still pretty warm in the city comparatively at the moment. It's about 17 degrees. Now, we've seen about 1 millimetre or so in showers beforehand and plenty of cloud around too, which set off a brilliant sunrise this morning. Here's the view from Walker Flat. Now, not long after sunrise, we dropped to a low of 13.8 degrees in the city, with that cloud cover stopping us from reaching the forecast top of 23 today. Now, cloud covered most of the state today, with showers delivering 4.4 millimetres to the gauge in Woomera, 3.4 in Port Augusta. But the bulk of the action is back here. Icy air behind a strong cold front. It's pushing across the state tonight, clearing through to the east tomorrow. We'll see a few fronts behind it, strengthening winds and fuelling further rain. Now, the wild weather will reach Melbourne tomorrow too. A storm is possible there, with rain set to develop over Sydney. Back home, and showers are forecast to reach the south and east of our pastoral districts. We could see storms across the state tomorrow too, with small hail possible about western and southern coasts late in the day. Now, showers will really focus on the southern Flinders Ranges, the Mount Lofty Ranges and central districts as well. It'll be cold, just 13 in Clare. Nuriootpa could see as much as 35 millimetres in the gauge. Now, we know that rain is good for crops, but farmers with livestock are being warned of the cold, wet and windy conditions ahead, and we can expect strong winds about several coastal areas tomorrow as well. Out on Metro Waters, we're expecting southwesterly winds to hit 25 knots from early morning, easing during the day before turning southerly at night, with seas up to 2 metres. In the city, and showers are almost a certainty, with anywhere from 10 to 25 millimetres possible. We could see a storm too, with hail expected about our southern suburbs, just 16 degrees the forecast top. Now, as we've heard, Thursday is when that chill really settles in, just 15 degrees the top, possibly our coldest April day since 2008. The showers will continue. We could see hail then as well. That wet weather is set to continue as well right through the weekend. So, Jane, break out the winter woolies.
Indeed, light the fire. And what's great about it too is that it's such a fantastic opening in so many areas of our grain growing state. So that's good news in this time of so much bad news. So our agricultural sector looking good just for the moment in most regions. I'll have updates through the evening, and the latest is on tonight at 10:15. Until then, have a good evening. Good night.